I'm Leona.
And I'm Fred, and we lived through the revival in the 70s in Saskatoon. There was nothing there that was extraordinary, but we just simply went along with what was going on in the church, and we were part of it. We were involved in various ministries, but I guess we were missing something along the way.
Actually, there was a hunger going on, perhaps not easily identified.
But we could sense people, I guess they were just looking for something more.
To me, it was a matter of wrong priorities, maybe. I had 4 children to look after, very busy in the church, which was not necessarily holiness. I guess that's what it was. It was just being busy with things. And we just needed to take our eyes off of things and the here and now, and for the first time, maybe take a good look at Jesus Christ. Maybe the catalyst even started way before then in our own hearts, a hunger and a desire for more. And then the catalyst, as Fred could describe, was prayer.
There was prayer going on, as we found out later. The pastor of the church where the revival started, he'd been praying for a number of years for something different to happen. And he was praying for revival.
Now, looking back, at the time, I don't suppose we'd have even called it a revival. We didn't know what was going on. We just knew. We recognized our sinfulness or our carelessness, flatness, and we began to recognize God as being holy.
It was just something that I don't think anybody really expected, and I don't think it fully realized till they were well into it that this was not something somebody started. It was God that was moving in the lives of people.
And people were standing 4 abreast
for blocks.
For a block and a half, or I don't know how far back it went, wanting to get into the church. They couldn't. It filled up, and they had to go over to the other church. But I think that was an expression of the hunger that was going on.
And it was something that we'll never forget. In that 1 year, 200 people came to Christ, and they were immediately discipled. They were brought into the church right away, and they were discipled for 6 weeks, and then they were baptized. And I don't think the baptismal tank ever cooled off for a year and a half.
I wasn't much into any kind of show, but I could not avoid what was going on. I remember we just talked about it the other day, coming into the church, and there was just a palpable presence there. And there was no falling down or anything like that. I had never experienced this sort of thing, but it was just, how do I explain it, other than it was just an outpouring of love. And that morning, I don't know if I can even describe it, but there's just kind of a moving of the people getting up and moving to the prayer rooms.
They were crowding at the doors, getting into the prayer room, literally jamming at the doors to get there. It was just like on a signal, everybody got up and started to move.
And I wasn't in the age group. When I think of it, I think of our 5-year-old daughter who wanted to go forward too. It was intergenerational. It was so powerful. I think it enabled me to recognize that all the busyness wasn't enough. It was a relationship we were after.
For me, having lived through that revival, I think above all gives me hope that it can happen again.
Yes.
And it needs to happen. But I think the churches need to cooperate and get to praying instead of just doing the routine things.
My prayer for myself, our church, and our country is that we would just see Jesus high and lifted up, who being lifted up will draw men and women to himself.